Welcome to Cultivating Keepsakes. I'm Eden, and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm making some patriotic stars to use for other projects or in my dough bowls, bins, that kind of thing. I had a bunch of stars from Dollar Tree that were covered in glitter, so I used those and a Elmer's glue stick, and I used the Elmer's glue stick to attach scrapbook paper to my stars. Most of my scrapbook paper I got from design bundles, and I just printed it out at home on cardstock. And once I had the paper on there, I cut the bulk of the excess away, and then for the rest of it, I used my little gator sander. I did this for all 6 stars and a smaller star. And then once I had that done, it was time to decorate them. I started with this striped star, and I used the smaller star that I was talking about with this one. And so the first thing I did was take my Chalktique dark wax. You can use any dark wax. Don't get caught up on, it being a certain one. They will all do the job. And I went around heavier on the edges and then lighter over both stars, the entire things. And once I had that done, I used hot glue to attach the smaller star to the center of the bigger star. And then I took some jute twine that I got from Dollar Tree, came from their nautical section. If you've seen any of my past videos, then you know that I use it a lot in my patriotic crafts. And I just kind of wrapped it around and decided where I wanted it. And then once I figured out where I wanted it, I wrapped it a couple times around and then turned my star upside down and tied it in a bow using the bunny ear method that you're taught, in kindergarten. And once I had the bow made, I knotted the end of the tails and then cut off the excess and kind of like frayed it out. And I did use a little hot glue to attach the bow to my star so it would stay where I wanted it to. And then that was it for this one. It was pretty easy. Most of them are actually pretty easy. And there you go. That one's all done. And then next I did this blue one that was covered in stars. For this one, I just went around the edges with the dark wax. And then I took this white trim that I got from Michael's, and I tied a little bow using my bow maker that I got from Temu. And then I cut the tails and used hot glue to attach it to my star. And then I think I cut the tails some more because they were still a little too long. Yep. And then I don't know, I went back and forth on a bunch of things for this one, and I tried a bunch of different buttons, and I finally settled on this white button with the red and blue button on top of it. And I just used hot glue to attach those and put it in the center of the star, and then that was it for that one. And then I started on this red star one, and I did the same thing with the dark wax as I did on my first star. I went heavier around the edges and then went over the entire thing. And then I used another small star that I had painted white. I cannot remember which white I used for this because I painted it last year actually. And then I had cut this little tag out of a piece of scrapbook paper. I think the scrapbook paper came from Hobby Lobby, but it might not have. Anyways, I used hot glue to attach the star to the bigger star, and I did it on the side this time instead of in the center. And then I used my Elmer's glue stick to attach the tag to the white star eventually. There we go. And then I just took a little tiny blue star and I attached that to the center of the white star and the little tag. And then that was it for this one. Had a little extra piece of scrapbook paper that I had missed on the edge there. And then for this next star, I used some paper that was like a rustic flag. And I took this trim. It came in the same pack as the other trim that I got from Michael's. And I went all the way around the edges of the star with it. I just used hot glue to do that. And there, movie magic, all done. And then for this one, took a little holiday ephemera sign tag thing I had. And sorry, I couldn't think of what it was called. And then I hot glued that on. And then on top of that, in the corner, I hot glued a button on. And then that was it for this one. And then for this star, oh yeah, I used a piece, well, not a piece. I used a little tag or plaque that I had cut out of foam clay and some stamps that I got from Amazon and my Memento blue ink and stamped the word USA onto the little plaque. And then I used hot glue to attach the little plaque to my star right in the center. I was trying to decide which part of my star I wanted up, or to be the top, I guess. And then I took this little butterfly that came in a pack with some flowers and other butterflies. They're stickers. And they had some like sticky foam double-sided tape in between the wing pieces, and I didn't really want them there. So I took those out, and then I just stuck the little butterfly right on the top, like right side of the plaque. And then I took another piece of trim from that pack. It was like sheer blue with white stars. And I made a pretty tiny bow. And then I just attached that to the bottom of the little plaque using hot glue and cut off the tails. And then that was that. This one was also done. And then for the last star, which was a little smaller than the other stars and rounded on the points, I took some more jute twine from the Dollar Tree, but this time the red one, and wrapped it around just like that first one and turned it upside down and made a little bow. And I also used a little bit of hot glue to attach this bow to the star. I just think it helps to get them to lay where I want them to lay. And then I cut off the tails. And then for this one, I decided to put a little tag that came from some scrapbook paper. It actually came from the same scrapbook paper piece that the round tag came from. And I added that, and then I put a little button in the center of the bow. And then that was it, and they were all complete. I hope that you like them. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. I would love for you to like, follow, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. It really helps my channel grow. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!